Alright, so favorite bands A to Z. We're already on L, so we're like halfway through. Um, so favorite bands A to Z series where I pick a favorite band for each respective letter, and then my favorite release by that band, and then we do a runner-up, and it can be a band starting with that letter, or it can go by artist, so with beginning with the last name, of course. So, yeah, so this one is actually really easy. And if you had any doubts, I mean, I guess I could see people saying John Lennon, but Led Zeppelin, it's gotta be the Zepp, the mighty Led Zeppelin. And Physical Graffiti, I mean, that's them at the height of all their excesses, and you know, I'm always a fan of double albums and seeing, you know, just how inspired bands are or how much material they get out. I know that they can be excessive and bloated, but a lot of times that these big bands do these double albums, they are often my favorite ones. So, you know, this one of course has the almighty Kashmir on it, but it's got Sick Again and In the Light, which is one of my favorites, Down by the Seaside, 10 Years Gone. Yeah, just an amazing record. You know, I love when these guys rock, and there are some rockers on here for sure, but there's also some tender moments too. And, you know, I'm one of those few people that I like the last four Led Zeppelin records better than the first four. And, but I'm not, there's no bad Led Zeppelin record. Like, my least favorite is probably number 3. And that's a lot of people's favorite ones. You know, that one you have the acoustic side versus the rock side. But, yeah, it's all good with the Zepp. You know, they were the almighty, you know, the quintessential rock band, and for better or for worse, they inspired a lot of people. You know, they were one of the best bands ever, but they inspired hair metal, which is one of the worst genres, in my opinion, with a couple exceptions. The runner-up band is going to be another one wherein I show my 90s. Your 90s are showing. So, it's going to be Limb Lifter. So basically when Age of Electric were on the verge of, you know, breaking up and Todd Kearns was going to go do his own thing, Ryan started up his own band, and his brother was the drummer for a very short time, and I believe he moved on to the New Pornographers, who are also an incredible Canadian rock band. We had a lot of good rock bands back in the day, but yeah, it's going to be Limb Lifter, and it's going to be their first album is the pick for release. This one has, you know, arguably some of their best songs on it. Screwed It Up is always a favorite in my opinion. And, you know, Tinfoil, catchy, vicious. Yeah, not really a bad song on this record. The follow-up, same thing. Very good kind of post-grunge, catchy rock music. Honorable mentions, Kendrick Lamar. You know, specifically his first few albums. LCD Sound System, who I used to really not like because their fan base used to drive me crazy, and then I listened to them for myself like 5 years later and was like, wow, they're actually really good. Barrington Levy, Huey Lewis and the News, we're putting him under L. You know, great, catchy, fun songs, especially in the 80s, lots of good stuff. I Want a New Drug, Power of Love, all those great songs. John Lennon, of course, you know, one of the better Beatles solo careers. Limb Lifter, just did them. Living Colour, Long Beach Dub All-Stars, Lotus Plaza, which is an offshoot of Deer Hunter, and their debut record was one of my all-time favorites of that decade. I love that thing. Lush, nice shoegaze band from back in the day, who did come back, like a lot of the shoegaze ones did, and also not to be confused with Lusk, with a K on the end there, who only did one album. Otherwise, you know, maybe they would have had a shot at the runner-up. It was a really cool album, that's for sure. And that was done with members of the band Failure and a member of Tool, so really cool collaborative 90s record there. So yeah, next time's going to be a little harder, of course. M bands, you know, there's a lot of M bands, so the list is going to be a little more extensive. Yeah, thanks for tuning into the series, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, everybody.